Hi there. In this video you will see how the sandstone is being dug out at the Denfind Stone Quarry. And here is one of the quarries that is being currently developed. You're seeing how the top layer of soil is being removed.
And what we're doing is shifting the overburden, topsoils and subsoils, to get down to this rock, which you can see all the different benches, what we term as benches. So the rock is rising, thankfully, where we're digging out just now. So we've got top benches there. You can see, if you look closely at the rock, you'll start to see different qualities. Particularly down on that bed there, you see it's breaking up a bit more. There's a bit more shale in that one. Good sandstone there, going back into shale again, shale there, and dropping down. And what tends to happen normally in a quarry is, as you get deeper, the rock gets better. But with our formations, it's quite variable. So this is a new quarry that we came into in 2021. And this is one of our fields. We cored it, we got planning application, we got a 50-year consent to come in here, and our consent goes up to where the poles are, where that bund is there, to the trees and back down into here. So there's about 8 hectares, 20 acres, about 500,000 tonnes worth of stone of varying qualities. And the old quarry that we're speaking about here, the old quarry basically was where the power lines are there, and it went to where the trees are. That was it there. So that was from about 1850. We don't get that, so we don't try and do that. It was a bit of a steep learning curve. The new quarry, we thought it would be easier to do that, but it's not.
So what you're seeing here is the primary treatment of the stones and the big slabs that are being delivered to this place, and they are cut off with the larger saws into smaller bits.
Down on the flat like that, we've turned it, so we've cut through to expose the bedding plane, and then we will cut the slabs of the paving to go with the bedding plane. So quite often that's a nice bit of stone. You see a bit of variation there. There's a wee bit of mudstone coming through there, but that's predominantly sandstone. You see the waves coming in there again. It's nice and flat bedding. When we're reading the stone for paving, we're looking to see if there's any fractures in there, and we're trying to put our cuts in the best place possible to maximise the yield out of that stone. These are actually all pretty good. It's easier to explain. So these tables are all set up to go in below the large saw that's at the far end. And what we'll do is it has a laser on it, so you'll come in here, mark it with your laser, and then measure if it's a 60mm slab. You measure it out plus the blade, and we'll just bring it along and try and get the maximum cuts out of there. That's actually a really good stone, apart from that fracture. But that's what you get with our stone, and with any other stone. You can look at it and think, well, that's a beautiful bit of sandstone, and then there might be a great big fracture runs right up the middle of it. It's just about trying to maximise the yield out of everything. We'll go and have a quick looky. So, once a stone comes up out of the quarry and we've deemed it to be of a good enough quality to go into the saw shed, it doesn't mean that it necessarily is, because your cuts through your stone might show it up differently. But we've got a 1400 diameter saw, a 1600, and then this is the big saw in the corner can go up to 2.2 metre blade. It's actually on 1.6 just now. These slabs behind you, we've taken, and as I said, we've topped and tailed them, so we're cutting through the bed, and that is the width of the paving slab that you're seeing. The height there is the width. So when that goes onto the large saw, we program it, as I spoke about, with a laser, and we'll cut it to 50-60mm slabs. Once it's been cut to 60mm slabs, the boxed off machine there is a flamer. It's a propane-oxygen mix flame. We actually have our own oxygen generator here, so we make our own oxygen, but we bring in propane, obviously. And what that does is, with a high heat and a reciprocating head across the stone, it ribbon finish, which is like a natural. Once it comes out of that machine, and then passes on to the heading machine, which is the machine that John was working on in the corner here, and he's cutting the slabs to the legs, trying to get the maximum yield out of that. If he's got any off-cuts, he'll then put them through what we call a stripper saw, and it's set at like 100mm cuts, that'll make 100mm sets. So we're trying to maximise the yield out of everything that we do in this shed, the same as we're doing with that. In this corner here, there's another machine, and it makes the 40mm cladding. So the cladding that's on the front of the building is only 40mm thick. It's on a composite panel, and that machine does that. So this essentially is our saw shed, and that's our killer. That's prepping stone to go onto this saw 1600. These are semi-automatic. That's fully automatic. So that saw you can set up and let it run, and it'll run itself. When it finishes at night, it sends a text to Fraser, not to me thankfully, or if it breaks down, it sends a text to Fraser, not to me thankfully. And he can come and sort it. When it finishes, it shuts the water off, fully shuts itself off. And then this is the flaming machine that I was talking about. So you can see the stone coming off there, and if you look behind the alley, you can see when it's been flamed. Yeah. So it creates a flame. It basically all it's doing is burning off the top couple of mil of the stone. So if it's for an external paving project for slip, anti-slip, that's what we do. If it's an internal project, you don't need to flame it. You can leave it smooth if necessary, if that's what people want. So the whole process is pretty compact. Minimum movement again, that's what it's all about, trying to achieve minimum waste. We are bursting stone. So what we've done is we actually came up with the idea ourselves. We put these manifolds, you can see the flexi pipe coming off them. So the manifold sits on the head of the guillotine. And what happens is that manifold will move up and down if the stone displaces it. But what will always happen is that manifold is lower than the operator. So that's really important because then there's an LEV system which takes that RCS and takes it away and it discharges it and it drops into a tank out there which has a chimney on it. But there's a water spray in there and a water body. So the water spray drops the dust into the water body where it completely negates it, and then the excess air is discharged into the atmosphere, but it's safe. So we have directional dust gauges around the quarry, which are checked once a week by a company down in Cambridge. And we do personal dust and noise monitoring on all the operators to ensure that they are safe. So we've been able to.
They get tested with patches on their worktops. Thank you. and that measures the level of dust they're being exposed, or RCS that they're being exposed to.
So these guys are able to operate without face masks because of the effectiveness of the LED, which just makes it a lot easier. It's a pretty noisy. It's hard work in here. It's hard work. So for them to be able to operate without face masks is great. If they're brushing down and what have you, then they need to. Yeah.
I will finish this video here, and there's another video about the stone manufacturing and the quarrying process coming out, so stay tuned for that. Bye bye.